Greetings. Welcome to episode 4 of the Sales Smarter podcast. My name is Themba. I'm the founder of Sales Smarter and your host. We bring to you interesting guest subject matter experts in the field of data science, analytics, and management. Today I'm sitting with Dr. Sizwe. Dr. Sizwe, right?
Yes, Dr. Sizwe Gwala.
100%. So what I'd like to do really is give you the opportunity. What I don't like doing is introducing people. Why? I've realized that, people know themselves better. So I don't want to limit you. I want you to go all out. Everything you believe we should know about you, please go for it. Introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you so much, Themba, for this invite. I'm really honored to be here. Yes, the name is Sizwe Gwala. Currently with Absa Bank, responsible for data governance and data management.
Yeah.
I think my role is interesting in the sense that I'm the guy that you have to talk to if you don't trust the data, right?
Okay.
I'm responsible for internal auditing, group compliance, and legal. So the other parts of the business. So on a day-to-day basis, I have to evaluate the quality of data, ensure that it's accurate, it's got integrity, and that we can properly profile our customers.
100%. I want us to just kind of bring everyone into the same page about how we got here. Tell me about your journey into the data space, data world. How did you decide? How did you know this is a space that you want to be in?
Quite interesting because, look, it's not like from school I was like, I'm going to be... I know a couple of guys in data, they all went for actuarial sciences at that time. So I was not that kind. I was more into communication sciences in the UJ. That's what I did as my undergrad.
Okay.
As I was on my final year, I got some funny things, people sending me links that I must apply for a job, ignoring it, then it came. Then I went for an assessment and all those things. Eventually, I uncovered that was the intelligence services of South Africa.
Okay.
They were securitizing, they were moving away from intelligence to security. So at the time, it was when Themba was the president.
Okay.
Yeah, so they wanted to move away from state security, from intelligence services to state security.
Okay.
Then, fortunately enough, I was successful. I joined, and then for the first year, we went for fully fledged military services. So you can just imagine a guy from the township in Soweto now staying in the tent and all those things. Quite interesting, though. I learned a lot. I think my discipline was shaped there.
Okay.
My character was shaped there. Every day I wanted to quit.
So you were shooting rifles and everything?
Yeah. But we were training end-to-end, you can think about it. We didn't get into a fight, obviously, because we were being... Because they're saying...
You're never sent to DRC?
No. we the closest we've been was in Madimbo. Madimbo, next to the border gate in Beitbridge.
Okay.
Yeah, that was a scary experience. Eh? Yeah, but it was nice. Though. Then when I came back, we were all placed. Fortunately enough, I was placed in information security.
Okay.
That's when this whole information ecosystem...
That's when you were introduced into this world of data.
Yes.
Okay. So from military training to data governance.
Yes.
Interesting.
And at that time, it was information security because we were the first line of defense of the country.
Okay.
So we did that. Then I moved to data analysis. They call it information analysis.
Okay.
Then after 9 years, I joined the private sector. Fortunately enough, I joined the bank, which is Absa Bank.
100%.
I did information risk management,
Okay.
then slowly transitioned into data management. But if you think about it, data information is just what you choose to call it.
100%. So you work with, ensuring data quality today.
Yes.
Okay. I want to ask you a question based on that. Is all data useful? I'm asking that because I want to understand what type of data should businesses be collecting. So maybe let's start it there. Is all data useful?
Look, every piece of information or data that is gathered by businesses, it is important.
Okay.
But we have developed a concept called critical data elements.
Mm-hmm.
What it means is what is critical to answer a problem statement. So the only way that one can answer if the data is important or not is based on the problem statement that we need to answer. So most people in organization take the the aspect of going from the data to answering the question. It is supposed to be vice versa. We need to know what the case study is. We need to know the problem statement. We now reverse engineer and go to the data that we require. Let's say, for instance, we need to sell a product to a Sizwe Gwala, right? We don't first design a product and look for Sizwe Gwala. No, we must start by profiling this person and compare this profile to the product.
Are you saying that's what businesses are doing today? Are you saying businesses are designing products before understanding the customers?
Yes. Most of them, they look at what they have at their disposal.
Whose fault is it?
Sure. It's quite a tricky one, right? But I think business, normally, everyone wants data, right? I mean, if you were to say, guys, I've got a data set of a record of ID numbers, phone numbers, they'll buy it, right?
Okay.
Now, when it comes in, then they only start analyzing that data then. Whatever they pick up will influence whatever the product they design. It's not vice versa.
Okay.
But if they spend time understanding understanding their customers, understanding who they have currently, then seeing how far they can go with those customers. Okay. Then they can tailor a product to first servicing their existing customers, then expanding outwards.
100%. What are some, I'm very interested in what you're saying. I think it's very important. When it comes to this data collection, management and governance analytics, what are some of the misconceptions that we are aware of when it comes to data management?
One is that every data is useful.
Okay.
Not every data is useful. Yes, it's probably useful, but not to your problem statement. And secondly, we need to invest in cleaning up data.
Okay.
So in that, you'd notice that most organizations talk about being analytics driven, being the first to come up with this product, being the first to come up with this product. And it fails after a year or 2 years or even 5 years, right? Ask yourself why that happens. It's because they didn't spend time cleaning the data. So I always say it's like a window, right? For you, when you're building your house, and then you are creating a window using nice fancy aluminum windows, you'll still see what's inside the house. So if you open them, you'll see how dirty your house is, right? Exactly with data, right? The technologies that are normally overlaid, they are just technologies to make my life easier as a customer. But if my underlying information is not proper, we tend to fail in that.
Okay.
And then thirdly, I've seen that data, yes, it's a shared commodity in the business. However, our business teams tends to be operating in silos.
Okay.
So this is my information. But for us to succeed, we need to share both internally in the business as well as with competitors, unfortunately.
Okay, I get what you mean. Then I'm a business. I want us to run through a brief case study. I'm a business in the hospitality industry. I'm wanting to become a big data-driven company. How do I go about it? Is there 3 steps that we should be going through or 4 steps? How does the process look like? We're wanting to become a big data-driven business. Not just talk about it. We want to live it. How do we go about it?
It's very key that before we make that stance, we need to understand how the market looks like. The world of data is quite vast, right?
Okay.
There is a lot of areas that you can tap into data. But what exactly are we trying to achieve? As soon as we've crafted that vision, we need to understand what do we have, what leverage do we have currently as a business. That is now with our current customers that we have as a hospitality business, how can we better service them and use them as our conduits to getting more customers? That is now we need to profile the current customers, we need to see their needs, have they changed or are they still the same, right? As soon as we've seen that we can service our customers, then we can start tapping into outside. So from a data point of view, we need to look at our current data that we have currently, what information can we use to expand our business.
Break it down to our viewers. Okay. When you say current data, what are you talking about? Which data is current data?
Okay. Say you're in the hospitality business, you do have clients that you service, maybe you've got businesses that you normally host, or maybe you've got, it all depends. Right?
So I've been a guest.
Okay.
I've been a guest at a hotel.
Okay.
So is that the data you're talking about? Because
yes.
they've captured my information there. They've got my name, they've got my last name, they've got my number, they've got my email, possibly my occupation, all this type of things. So is that the data which you're talking about?
Definitely.
Okay.
And if you think about that one, that's actually quite a lot of data because they've got you as a customer. In the hotel, you can't sleep unless you've got your ID numbers, your address,
100%.
even your credit card details, right? That's an individual customer data, right? But a customer can also be a business that has booked a conference room. They understand, okay, they've had ABSA booking a conference center. So those businesses, you first start with them and look at what their needs are, right?
Okay.
Looking at the data that you have at your disposal. If you've got consent to gather more data from them, you do exactly that, right? You go and buy the information. Others do give you consent, others don't. Okay. Then you start profiling them based on their age, their occupation, their areas. So the data that you have at your disposal, you use it first and foremost, right? You get that cleaned up, you get it to really talk to your customers.
Okay.
You build what we call a data model. That will be your basis of where to start.
Okay.
Thereafter, you look at similarities in your customers. You start branching out, right? Now you go and expand it. You get more data sources that are going to be pumping into you. And by data, I'm not talking about a complicated system of technology. You can use just your simple spreadsheets that you store in SharePoint.
Yeah.
Then you get a simple dashboard to visualize it. That's the first part. But where we get it wrong is we don't spend time cleaning the data. We don't see it as valuable because obviously with data quality, right, and data cleanup, you don't get a direct return on investment.
Yeah.
So I can't say I cleaned this data, so I'm getting 10 rands or 5 rands. But clean data means more direct and accurate hits.
Okay.
And then also we now also need to factor in the regulatory universe.
Okay.
There's your POPI, which tells you how to handle people's personal information, informed consent and all those things. So those are the basics. Right?
Okay.
Thereafter, we now tap into our data integration.
Okay.
We need these data sets to talk to each other.
Okay, let's break down data sets to our viewers.
Yeah. So now we've got this piece of information that we've cleaned inside. We need to get additional sources from outside, right? That is now, it's either you buy it, then they push it inside, then it joins this one.
Okay.
If it's too expensive, we need to join it. Right?
So are you now referring to collaboration with third parties?
Third parties, yes.
Okay.
Because you need to better understand your customers as well as, seeing if they're really genuine. If they've given you an ID number, is it really the correct one, right? Does the data have integrity?
So you're validating the data that you have by pulling in a third-party data provider to okay, 100%.
And then you group it into what we call domains, right? There's going to be a customer domain, a customer talking about an individual customer. So in an individual customer, we have think of a spreadsheet with rows and columns. The columns will be for an individual customer. We need the person's name, surname, ID number, phone number, and criminal record, right?
Okay.
All of this needs to be connected outside to verify the criminal record. Is it the same? ID number, is it the same? Once we've gotten that, we are more likely to hit the customer correctly. Yeah. And then thereafter, we also do the same for the business. There's a CIPC, does the business still in business, or if they closed down and all those kind of things.
I think one of the things for me which is interesting, Dr. Sizwe, I'm not going to call you Sizwe, I'm going to call you Dr. Sizwe. I feel like it's easy to collect information.
Yeah.
That's my feeling. I feel like it's easy to collect information, but I feel like where the challenge is, I get a sense that where the challenge is knowing what to do with this data. I'll give an example. Let's say I was in Tanzania. I checked into a hotel. What must they do with that, with my data? Because I've never received any communication from all the hotels I've been in, in different countries, whether I was in Zambia, whether I was in wherever, right? I've stayed at a hotel. On my last day of stay, I've checked out. They said, "Thank you, Mr. Nkuna. Enjoy the rest of your day. Thank you for staying with us." But since that day, I've not been engaged from. So what I'm asking is, what should that hotel do with my data? How should they engage me? Is it a matter of sending me communication? Is it calling me? Is it sending me specials? What exactly?
Look, it all boils down to obviously the consent that you've given them, right?
Okay.
They do ask you. Let's say, for instance, you didn't answer that question, or you gave them that consent. Then they can use that information. But what I've seen is we tend to look at data as an IT function.
Okay.
There's going to be a data team from the IT, these clever guys, looking so funny, they're going to be fixing our data. But in actual sense, data is part of day-to-day reporting. The business that you are doing, the core business, must be data-driven. By that, I mean your frontline team members, right, who interact with your customers. We call those ones the data owners. Why do we do that? Because of they own the data because they brought it inside. Mm-hmm. Chances are they are the ones who actually even physically saw you, right? Mm-hmm. There's normally a database where they capture the information. So how we can do it correctly is to empower those people as knowledge workers, that as part of the frontline team or the customer-facing teams, you need to understand what data elements are important and how to profile a customer, not the other way around. So how it works now, they gather this data, then push it in a warehouse, then a clever geek will come and do their own models, which are most of the time not even correct. So we must move away from the concept of saying data is an IT function, but rather it's a business function. You don't need to get a big IBM project to clean your data now internally. Get your guys to understand what information to gather, how to use that information, and how best to profile a customer, right? And also, it doesn't mean that you must be skilled or highly educated or whatever. Yes, obviously, we've got people who build systems, but the best person that understands the customer is the person that saw the customer. So coming back to your question, if they saw you, they probably have got some identifiers that they can use to say, okay, can this person come back or not, right? Then looking at the consent, let's say you gave them the consent. One will obviously be giving you some products, some specials, making you come back to the hotel, right? Asking you about your experience and those basic things. But if they see you as someone who's a potential customer for a long term, like you came as an individual, but they realize that you actually own a company and you can actually bring your team for a team building exercise. Now, what they sell to you tends to be different now. They're offering more than just what you had bought initially.
Okay, 100%. I want to ask follow-up questions based on that. Let me stretch you a bit.
Yeah.
Would you say, based on experience, that most businesses are not leveraging data enough?
With a definite yes and confidently yes, I'll say that.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. What should they be doing? So, how do I know if I'm not leveraging on my data? So because I was sitting with Ayanda from Microsoft, and he said to me, I asked him a question, and his answer was, "You don't know what you don't know."
Yeah.
So how do we know that we don't know something?
What we don't know.
yeah, it's something like that. How do we know that we're not leveraging our data enough?
I always hear when I meet my business counterparts, right? The data team is now coming, full room, and everyone's got questions, and you can see that these questions are from Google, right? Like, our quality of data is poor, we don't trust it. I always ask one question. I said, okay, how sure are you that the data quality is poor? Yes, we know, okay. How poor is it? Give me it in a percentage. No one answers.
Okay,
me, right?
that's a good one.
And then I say, okay, I've got a counter argument. I'm saying the data quality is clean and it's 100% accurate. No, I'm saying fight me with facts, right?
Okay,
so it starts there.
Fight me with facts.
Yes.
Fight me with. I love that, and I feel like that's what data brings to businesses today, right? Drive your decisions with facts.
Yes.
Okay.
This other lady once said, businesses today are run out of the stomach. I didn't get what she was like. No, because of you use your gut to make decisions. My gut tells me something is wrong with your stomach. So maybe you ate a lot of tomatoes last night. Yeah. Okay. So it starts with us.
Tomato-based decision making.
Exactly. So it all starts with saying, whenever someone calls me, I say, okay, let's look at your data that is poor. Let's measure it, right?
Okay.
We need to have a mechanism of measuring your quality, and it's simple. What does good data look like to you? You give it to me. I take that. I make it a rule.
Okay.
Say you're saying, okay, I don't want spaces in between my data. all the phone numbers must be 10 digits and they must be numeric only. An ID number must be 13 digits. We take that, we put it in a simple, like a ClickSense dashboard, Power BI dashboard.
Yeah.
We pump the data.
Yeah.
Because we've coded that as a role. As soon as the data comes with gaps, the ID number is not 13 digits, it will tell us that, okay, this one is failing, this one is failing. Now we bring that into a report. We can either, if we've got time, we can make it a dashboard with a chart or whatever, or we can just use a spreadsheet.
Okay.
Now we can say, okay, out of your 100% of ID numbers, 50% are incorrect, and this is the 50%. So give us probably 6 months to fix this, but for the 6 months, work on this one, which is correct. Now we have to take it a step further and connect now to the external sources to verify if it's really a South African ID number. Then it goes for it. That's a simple, basic, and I don't need a gig to do that. You can do it yourself.
Okay.
Anyone can do it. Yeah. But to answer your question, yes, definitely we are not leveraging of all our data assets because of a couple of things. One is the silos in business, right? If you fund it a bit, I don't know why, but it happens that we just spoke about a simple initiative. Maybe it will cost us maybe like 50,000 rands or so. Because a business unit has paid for that, they'll want to own that and segregate themselves out of everyone, right? Then the other team is doing the same thing, and now we are duplicating more or less the same customers. Hence, you find someone calling and offering you a home loan when you've got a home loan in a bank because of the silos.
Okay.
And then secondly, we don't have a central repository of data. Therefore, we don't know what we don't know, as you're saying.
Yeah.
We don't know if we've got everyone in this. Another simple question that I've asked a couple of business leaders is, how many customers do you have? You'll be shocked. Very few people know that. Like, how many customers do you have? As Absa Bank asked me now, I don't know. I can give you a thumbs up, but hand on heart, I can't tell you. Why? Because there's a lot of factors involved. Duplicates data, siloed data, inconsistent data. So we are definitely not using our data.
I see. And I like when you talk about, operating in silos and all this type of things, because that brings me to my next point of sales and marketing collaboration, right? So in your view, how is data reshaping marketing, and how can data, help marketing teams support the sales function much better?
Look, fortunately enough, because with my undergrad, we did marketing as a subject. It was when they were moving away from IMC to OIC, right? Integrated marketing. So, and quite recently, a friend of mine who's still doing well there, his I don't know if I'm allowed to say, let's say KFC, right? He's doing this campaign of popping up the cup.
Is the one who did like Table Mountain?
Exactly, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, the Table Mountain.
Oh, nice.
So I was actually thinking, very, very good guy, and I'm like, very creative. I'm like thinking, but why though do you go to traditional marketing? To me, that's traditional marketing, right? And at that point, when we were moving from IMC to IC, it was integrated communication. Yet you guys are going to tradition, right? And then I started thinking and reading about it. Of course, marketing has evolved quite a bit, but there's those traditional aspects because we still need to see a brand, right? After seeing that cup, I don't drink coffee, but I went to buy it. Like, oh, okay, that association. So we are now living in a space where everyone is a marketing officer. I have to design a product and sell it to my customers internally. Yes, we call it change management internally, but it all is based on data. We live in a world where when we bring in an external marketing consultant, they first ask us that, okay, what do you know? We'll answer them whatever we do. Then they dig into our data and they do customer profiling, right? And their profiling is different to how we profile, but without the accurate data pieces regarding our customers, I mean, we are sending them for failure, Of course, I'm not in the marketing space, but I know that you've got your own databases that you use externally. But I think it all stems from saying, with the correct data, we can properly profile and then hit the right customers.
Okay.
That's the first one. And then also, I've also had a concept of empowering our customers, which is also a very new marketing concept, that don't just sell a product, but empower them with this product so that they can come back again. And I've seen that really, really being powerful to me, right? When I see someone selling me a piece of technology, I don't want you to convince me that this machine is the cheapest in the market. I want you to say, how is this going to help me, right?
Yeah.
I want you to build rapport. Right, and I want to trust you in the sense that I can call you and say, bro, I'm in trouble. I know that you're going to do something.
100%.
Rather than me having this tool, then after you sign the deal, you're gone. Yeah, so relationships are very important, how you empower me. And let's focus more on relationships rather than selling products. Because to me, that is very, very important. Not only with me, but empower us to have relations with our customers. Of course, using you because of you're probably an expert in the space.
Okay. So it sounds to me like what you're saying is marketing teams should be gathering insights from customers.
Yes.
Customer feedback, all these type of things, complaints, suggestions, so that they can then consolidate that information to empower the sales teams to know exactly how to interact with clients. Because let me make it practical, possibly. If I know that Dr. Sizwe is currently frustrated about our solutions, when I go to him, I need to know how I'm approaching him. I'm not going to sell anything. I'm not going to upsell, whatever the case might be. I'm first going to solve the problem that is currently dealing with. But what we are finding today is salespeople are not on the same page with their customers in a sense that they don't know that their customers are currently frustrated about certain things, right? But when they get there, they're not addressing these issues. They're wanting to see or find an opportunity to sell something. That becomes a frustration. Am I correct?
It does. And we also get quite a lot of that. I mean, we've got bankers in the bank. And I don't know if you have a banker or what, when you have those private things. And a lot of people are downgrading from private clients. Because this guy, I don't know him. I got his name, he doesn't call me, and I'm paying a premium for this. The only time that our bankers will call is when they are saying, we've got this product to sell you, your retirement funds, we're doing a review. But you don't call me the whole year, but when you want to sell me another product, you contact me. But from a marketing person, I expect them, obviously we provide the data that we have at our disposal. I want them to know what are the missing pieces of information and see if we can access them internally. Of course, it will save money for everyone. If not, then where do we get this information enhanced? I also expect them to understand the reg universe as to what kind of actions can we take with this information that we have. Can we even gather that information? Maybe we're not even allowed to do that. But most importantly, everything changes, right? Be it an individual customer, a business changes. So as soon as we transition before the COVID-19 and now, the needs are no longer the same. So things like buying 1,000 chairs was not a priority for the office, right? In the past 2 years, everyone was working from home. Now we are coming back, right? Everyone's saying, no, I want to be hybrid. What does hybrid look like, right? So now even the kind of products that you want to position are not the same that you were positioning 2 years ago. So that change is something that, even if, let's say, for instance, we are not aware that the market is changing, I rely on a marketing officer to say, are you aware that people are moving away from laptops now? They are using MacBooks. And you tell me the reason. I'm like, oh, okay, I didn't know that. Okay, what must I do with these laptops? No, don't worry. I've got another customer that can buy them for you. Then I'm going to take this money, we buy these MacBooks. You're going to top up with just 10%. You've empowered me there.
100%, I get you. Okay, I want us to go for case study number 2. I was a business in the hospitality space. Now I'm a business in the automotive space. How can I make use of data to sell possibly more cars? I want to sell more cars.
My father is in the automotive space, so we always talk a lot about that, right? And funny enough, this skill I learned from him of saying, I've never seen him sell, but he always sells quite big deals, right? I've heard him talk, but I've never seen him really saying, we've got this car. No. It's again the relationship. So with the cars, why do I need a car? Actually, maybe before that, do I need a car or not? That's the first question, right? If I was staying in the Europe, right, going to work, and from work, I don't need a car for that. So I use a speed train or even I cycle to work because it's the culture, right? But in South Africa, whether it's a 10 kilometer, 5 kilometer, whether it's 100 people, we stay in the same area, everyone prefers driving their cars, right? The lift clubs didn't work, right? So we need to say, first and foremost, again, with the existing customers, I bought a hatchback, say, in 10 years back, and then I changed to a sedan. Why did I change to a sedan? You need to understand that. Is it perhaps maybe now I'm starting to have a family that's growing, maybe now I'm probably going to be wanting a much bigger car, like an SUV. So before I can even decide to walk into your space, you know that I bought the car 5 years ago, so it's probably older now. You've got a history of me servicing the car. You probably have a history of the mechanical problems that I've had, right? So with that information, you can come and make a proposal or a recommendation to me. Hey, Chief, your car, we've got this car for you. It's gonna. But when you position it, you'll say, we know you. You've been our customer. We think this could be good. But at the back of that, you know, okay, this guy's got 2 kids now. He's got 5 kids. He's got this thing. So you've profiled me, right?
Okay.
That's the first part with the existing customers. And then going forward, I also believe that it's also important to understand the relations that a person has. Whether or not is okay according to Poppy, I don't know, but relationship is very important, and it's a data set that we really struggle to capture. Okay, this is Sizwe. There's another customer called Mrs. Gwala. How do you associate these two? You know that this is my wife, but how do you associate us, right? We need to have that joiner. Now there's a son who's 18 years, who's always bringing this car for a service. He's gotten a job now. Oh, these people are all related. So I must remember, I can't sell this one a similar car like his father, you know, those kind of things.
Okay.
So I think it's very important to understand, yes, the customer, we call it a single view of a customer with relations. And then going out of the existing database, because we need to expand and grow, right? There's
into new markets.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And there's a concept of data interchange.
Okay.
Inter-business, right? You find that us as, let's say, BMW, we have to share information with Mercedes, believe it or not. They are our competitors, yes, but the sharing, the interchange of information, that transparency actually makes us more stronger than we think. Ordinarily, you wouldn't give someone your data, the number of your customers. But now, with those who have tapped in, most of the startups are doing it. Most of the banks which are digitally led are doing it, right? And that interchange is so powerful in the sense that they get to grow their product offerings, and they also get to grow their customers. Because if you know very well that, okay, these are the 1,000 customers, 50% of them are not using the product that I have. You know, it's not rocket science. But obviously, not everyone is buying into that because they see it as a sign of weakness.
Okay.
But if done correctly and in line with the regulation, it definitely is a powerful tool.
Okay. So we know for a fact that today all industries are highly competitive, right?
Yes.
And I mean, the automotive space is no exception. I want to stand out. How do I go about it?
Understand where you are.
Okay.
The area you operate in, understand the affordability of your customers, understand their tastes.
I want to jump in there when you talk about understanding the affordability of my customers. Are you saying that I should lower my pricing? What are you saying? Because I mean, if I'm selling this brand, I've been selling this brand for years. We were known for quality. We're known for durability. We're known for best driving experience. We're known for comfort and safety and everything. Our price has always been this. When you say understand the affordability of your customers, what are you saying? Are you saying suddenly we must reduce our pricing? What are you saying we should be doing when you say pricing?
I think it's very important to understand where you are operating, understand the needs. But also, if you look at the demographics of the area that you're operating in. You can obviously, I mean, the internet can also assist you, but you can have a focus study where you look at your targeted customers, your accessible customers, as well as their areas that they stay in. If, for instance, you've got a car valued at $1 million, right, and you are selling it in Sandton, as soon as you go to the township, back in the days, you'll probably take it down. But now you're starting to see the townships now buying more expensive cars, right? Why? Is it because people have got more money or have their taste increased? But in a period of a year or 2 years, do they default in those cars or not? So that kind of data is going to be useful. Now coming back to that, during the COVID, again, I like using that period, Porsche did something. I don't know if you noticed it. They suddenly reduced, in Mercedes, they reduced their prices for the models which were getting older at the time. And that's when they released the Macan and the new Mercedes-Benz, right? Suddenly you started seeing a lot of Porsches on the road. I'm like, what's happening here? But because of now, they realized that they've got these Porsche Cayennes, most of them, but people are not buying them. because people are not driving, they can't afford them. So instead of losing, they took them down. Then they produced a similar model, which is smaller than Porsche Macan, which is about, I think, just in the million regions, right? What do? They looked at the demographics, they looked at the affordability, and they came with a similar car, but a smaller one.
Okay.
So the product offering must align to your customers. It's no use designing a product, pricing it good for your projections, but no one buys it. So perhaps it will not be wise to take a Ferrari and lower the price, but maybe what can we do as an equivalent of a Ferrari?
Okay.
That's going to be affordable. Then people can drive it and still feel that comfort and experience of owning a Ferrari.
Okay, 100%. I love that. I'm just gonna ask you two more questions, then we wrap up.
Okay.
I don't want to ask you all the questions because I want you to come back. So if we give our viewers everything,
Definitely.
they will not have the appetite to want to have you back. Okay, then my second last question to you is, how does the future of business look like to you?
Wow. Quite interesting, eh?
Yeah.
And as we are talking now, probably there's new strategies, products, and services which are coming. I think based on my understanding, I think it says that we must be more of a service-oriented economy, or rather business than a product, right? I think we've spoken a lot about that. Let's not sell products, let's sell a service. We need to be analytical and data-driven, right? Concept of digitization is happening now, but I think I'll just say it in passing that to me, data integrity is important. Now, even before we move, let's start cleaning our backyard, ensure that the data we have is indeed the correct one, because everything else depends on the data that we have currently. Right? It's like the source of water in the Vaal River. If it's not cleaned properly before it comes to my tap, everyone will have a problem. Right?
That's a very good analogy to use.
Yeah, definitely. And people go for fancy taps and aluminium taps, forgetting that, hey, what's going to happen there? So it's very important. And then thirdly, we are moving more to technology. We are moving more to artificial intelligence. Now there's generative AI, there's machine learning, there's advanced analytics. All these are new and emerging fields, but they're all reliant on historical data that we have to form patterns of our customers and to empower us to better predict the next move, right? Since we always buy the cars in 5 years, it's been proven every 5 years I was buying a car. Chances are he's going to buy a car in another 5 years. So year 4, let's start playing with him nicely. And then definitely I'm going to be interested in buying a car, We also need to understand that everyone is a knowledge worker in the business. Let's empower our teams with technical skills. IT is not responsible for data, is not responsible for analytics, but everyone in the business, especially the ones who interface with customers, needs to be empowered.
So that's where the data literacy comes in now.
Yes.
100%.
Yeah. And a lot of investments are being made towards technology. We've seen a lot of startups emerging, and the startup economy is also going to be even more stronger. Because now a problem that I can't solve currently where I am because of bureaucracy, I'd rather go out and come back as a service provider with a similar product. And now they'll listen to me. I don't know why it happens, but because of a startup is normally lean, there's not a lot of overhead counts. So if you sell a product, you hit correctly, you are done, right? You bring a platform. You're coming to a platform. And then the platform economy is also coming out very, very lucrative now. By platform, I mean building something similar to an Amazon, where people come and sell their products. You just a platform, you're providing that service.
Providing like a marketplace.
Exactly, marketplace, definitely. So think of Standard Bank has just launched also. I know it's a competitor, but they've launched something called Luxi. It's a platform for plumbers and solar.
It's similar to like the Evo.
Exactly.
Okay, from NetBank.
Also, NetBank is Evo and Standard Bank is Luxi, something similar.
Okay, I get what you mean.
Yeah, so how it happens is I create a platform. I'm accessible to customers. You are a business, like a Facebook marketplace. You advertise your products. These guys buy. I don't get involved in the transaction. I just manage this. Unlike Uber, who handle the complaints, the platform. If you guys fight, I don't care. All I want is you advertise, they buy, I get my commission, then I'm done. So the platforms, also even in business, we are also doing the platforms. We're calling it a data marketplace, whereby after fixing the data, as I said to you, I put it there. Who wants to consume this data? You come, you consume it, you pay me with your cost center. You know, the marketplace is a very interesting field. So everyone wants to advertise in the marketplace. Guys, I've got text numbers. They will give you the metadata, which explains how they were verified, by when, this is the source of data. Then you can, okay, I can trust this. Okay, can I use it? Yes, you can. Pay us this much using your cost center. You move to this one. Now the businesses are starting to be monetizing data.
Okay. 100%. Yeah, we've come to the end of our class. I don't want us to just leave our viewers. Let's give them some homework. What are the 3 things do you want our viewers to go and think about?
Wow. I think it's a cliche that data is important. We are data-driven. Everyone knows about that. But the questions that I'm going to ask is, 1, go and ask yourself, or rather go investigate, how many customers do you have?
Okay.
And then secondly, if you say your quality of data is poor, how poor is your data? Give it to yourself and to everyone in a percentage, which is factual. Right?
Okay.
Because unless you understand those 2 fundamental questions, it will be trickier for you to have a strategy that it's going to be tapping into your customers. Because also customers, they grow, they evolve, right? We need to understand at what stage are they currently and what is their possible next move. And then thirdly is, how good or how accessible and how trustworthy is your historical data? Why am I asking this? Because of everything that you overlay. That is AI, machine learning, generative science. It all uses historical data. So do you trust your historical data that when you pump it into a model, it will give you the desired outcomes? And I think lastly is, let's move away from selling products, but rather focus on building relations with our customers.
100%. Okay, that's your homework from Dr. Sizwe. We hope you found value in this discussion that we've just had now with Dr. Sizwe here. I think for me, what I'm really passionate about, and it's quite interesting because I've developed this passion when I was still at university, when Prof. Nisha Sudas first introduced us to Michael Porter. You know, it's a world which was really interesting, of competitive intelligence. How do you become competitive as a business? You know, and I think that forms part of the current project. I'm working on my book. There's a book that I'm currently writing at the moment. So I think, you know, I think what I'll add to the homework as possibly question number 4 is, what are we missing?
Yes.
You see what I mean? I think I would like to add that, because when you constantly ask that question, then you become more creative.
Yes.
And you also get the opportunity to be mindful of your blind spots, where the gaps are, instead of being, somewhat guided by ego and stuff and believe we're the best in what we do. We're the best. We've been doing this since the beginning of time, and we'll possibly be doing this until kingdom come, type of a thing. But I think the minute you then step back and ask yourself, what are we missing? Right? What are we missing? And there's no wrong or right answer, really. It's that brainstorming moment where every answer is okay. We'll put it on the board. We'll think about it a bit later. You see what I mean? Do you relate to that question?
Yes, I do. And because most of the, I would say, mistakes are costly, or maybe most of the initiatives that we normally drive, they are very costly, right? Everything, when you pitch it to your executives, it will have a return on investment, right? And then if you can't hit the projections or the benchmark, then you have to explain yourself, this is the reason. But if you don't understand what are we missing, it becomes a problem.
Okay.
And actually, it's not a problem that we don't know of. Most of the time we do know, but we just choose to overlook it.
Okay, 100%. There you have it. This is the Sell Smarter podcast. Thank you, Dr. Sizwe. We look forward to having you again.
Thank you so much.
Until next time. Thank you. Cheers.